Good evening, guys. Warm welcome to the program. Yesterday, we were supposed to review this session, but there was some technical issue, so I am redoing yesterday's session. So, in this kind of program, we are trying to analyze the job description from various leading organizations. So, if you are in the job market and looking for a good job, what are the skill set expected by major organizations in the supply chain domain, and what is the skill set do you possess, what is the gap? And in this today's world, the getting a job is highly competitive. Possibly many of you might be worried why not even you are getting the interview. So it starts from understanding the employer's requirement. I've been doing this for several weeks. Maybe if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can see the recording of all previous channels. So let me attach my screen, and let us proceed to the topic. This is the analysis number 133. So previous one, as I told, it is available in the YouTube channel, and this program is a live telecast both in LinkedIn and the YouTube. Before we dive into the program, let me briefly introduce myself. This is my LinkedIn profile. If you are not connected, you are welcome to connect or follow me. And I am also available in Udemy. I have nearly 5,000 candidates enrolled for various programs. You can also check in Udemy for various programs, but you will find the key important program in our website. Possibly at the end of the show, you will see the detail about our website, contact detail, and other information. As far as my profile is concerned, I am an engineer with a PG degree in management and data science. I have nearly 2.5 decades working in this global organization. I have started my career in Bosch in the planning function and moved on to various subdomains in the supply chain at various level. And I was heading the end-to-end supply chain management in the last two organization. And in the current assignment, I am heading the organization known as Thoughtware Training Private Limited. Coming to my certification, maybe many of you are aware about ASCM or APIX. If you are not sure, you can Google up or even go to any job portal and type any of this certification. Now this has become one of the primary requirement for the job applicants, and the employers use them for filtering the candidates. When 1,000 candidates are there, if they need to call 5 or 10 people for the interview, so APIX certification may help you, not the local certification. I also have similar certification from an organization called Demand Driven Institute. They provide similar world class certifications. I also have certification, certified purchasing manager and a project management professional, apart from qualified in business analytics. Coming to our organization, we are a 5-year-old organization based in Bangalore. We provide both consulting and training in the field of supply chain, logistic, and purchasing, and of course, analytics related to this topic. Coming to today's job posting, this company and name is Chain Analytics or Chain Analytics. Okay, this company is a growing short company. Maybe they have presence and customer all over the world. And I have picked this from the LinkedIn. I have picked it yesterday, and yesterday it was less than a day. Maybe now it is 1 day old. Number of applicant as on yesterday was 77. The position title is Senior Consultant Supply Chain Operations. Okay, it's a Bangalore based company. So seeing the title, what are the general expectation for this job? Could be you should be well versed with supply chain design, and at this level, maybe it's not very junior, maybe mid level. They also expect you to have some improvement tools, or study the current condition of the clients and offer a solution to improve the current nature. So you should be aware of some study the current state and propose the new state, possibly in terms of costing. So you should understand how the client can get a better rate of returns. So you should have a excellent process knowledge and experience if you have to apply. Possibly this organization may also look for the candidates working in their competitors environment having this kind of a skill. And if you have to be successful, you should have a analytical skill and their application. And of course, in this type of consulting position, you are expected to handle the clients, and you should also become the business development manager. This is where you should convince the customer how this project or application will help the customer to improve their business or profitability. That's where you need to understand clearly the costing details of various subdomains in the supply chain. So the job responsibility, all this are from the employer. As a warehouse design and logistic process manager, but the title of the job which you can see at the bottom, it is talking about supply chain planning transformation is the title given in the posting. But now we are suddenly seeing a new title which calls warehouse design and logistic process manager. Okay, this could happen in small companies or startup, but having a global presence, they assume even without supply knowledge they can build some software solution and sell it to their customer. That's not a correct attitude. When you say a title at the top, everywhere you should consistently maintain. Okay, when you say supply chain planning transformation, and inside the title is different. Anyhow, let us continue. You join a team that helps design optimized warehouses for the world largest and most dynamic firms. So here the focus is on the warehouse design, not the entire supply chain network design. You will be working on supply chain process assessment, redesign, consulting projects. So possibly you should have consulting and design experience to apply for this job. Not necessarily from warehouse operation background. This is the question I have in mind whenever I see the requirement from either consulting domain or the companies which are developing some software to the supply chain application. They look for knowledge is primarily in software design development and possibly business development, but not necessarily working in a manufacturing or warehousing environment. That's a big gap in the employer's requirement. Really, many organizations do not understand how the people having the operational experience background could add a much higher value than if they have only the software knowledge. Okay, coming to qualification, ideal qualification is a master's degree in industrial, mechanical, or production engineering. This is an excellent requirement. Okay, ideally, if you see all this kind of warehouse design, layout, optimization, or even time and motion study, you can expect that kind of a knowledge from these kind of people, industrial, mechanical, or production engineering. This is very much fine, 100%. But at the same time, you may not expect these people to have additional skills like business development or software development. No. But let us see further requirement. At least 6 years experience in warehouse design and operations, Okay, specific experience in consulting is a significant advantage. So possibly when they int, these are the int you have to assume. So you should be already in consulting position from a similar company or competitors company, and not necessarily working in real warehouse operations. Okay, that is the gap I could see. Experience in delivering projects mentioned in the description have recommended, designed, and or implemented warehouse automation. So you should understand what are the warehouse automation tools, like a data capture device or RFID or material handling equipment. Possibly here, when it comes to automation, their clients may be based in US because they believe more automation. In India, we don't give much respect to automation because we are labor surplus, and maybe except few e-commerce platform, they are not really bothered about warehouse automation. Okay, so I am glad, being a mechanical engineer, they are talking about basic qualification in this. So now most of the employees are looking for hybrid kind of knowledge or experience. So even if you are from this background, you should add up in additional knowledge like warehouse design, which may not be part of the curriculum, and automation tools. Okay, coming to the detail, required consulting project experience should include. So they are basically looking from a consulting experience. Okay, maybe that's what I can conclude with this. And warehouse automation tools, maybe their clients based in US or other Western countries, there where the labor cost may be high. So everything they may automate, starting from barcode or of RFID. Then you have all the scanners, material handling, maybe automatic, well, like using robots or conveyors, and sorting equipment, or automatic loading and retrieval equipment. All that comes under warehouse automation. And warehouse design, this is ideally industrial engineering topic. Okay, in my earlier times, we used AutoCAD to design a layout. Okay, so you should know how to what are the cubic volume required depending upon the capacity of the clients, and how much levels of storage, what kind of product, where to keep the required item. So you need some analysis, like for example ABC analysis or FSN analysis for doing this layout. Apart from this, now you should also take care of safety, environment. Providing the firefighting equipment or water fire extinguishers, sprinklers, such kind of knowledge is also important. And the exit doors, how far it should be from the main operating environment, all this is part of the layout. And when you design the layout, you should keep in mind what kind of pallets or unitization you are talking. Some products may be stored in a pallet, some are in cartons, some are in bins. That idea should be available when you start designing the layout. And what kind of handling equipment you are going to use. If you are going to use a forklift, then there is something called turning radius. All this knowledge should be available. Warehouse capacity modeling, so you should design the warehouse for a cubic volume, because warehouse, especially in urban center, the vertical height is very important. It should be clear in the specification how many pallets are to be stored or handled, and what is such a capacity required, and material handling equipment selection. So what is expected is supply subject matter expert in warehouse. But these software companies, they will not look for practical work experience in a warehouse. They are look for experience in software design. Okay, possibly you might have visited many warehouses but not handle the warehouse. Okay, there is a big difference in visiting a warehouse, understanding the problem and discussing with client is different. But if you are working in warehouse environment say for 2 to 3 years, then you will know the pain points, and you can incorporate in those softwares. Unfortunately, the software companies does not look into it. 3PL, third party logistic process design, and this is where many organizations try to outsource to low cost unskilled labor. Not only in India, it even happens other part of the world. Warehouse process design, starting from receiving to dispatch, or cash to cash cycle, or order to dispatch. Okay, that's what you see. Next, order to cash process design, procure to pay, supply chain end to end process assessment, business case development. So you should be very clear here. Of course, the focus is on warehouse process and nothing more. It is not in a manufacturing environment, so this is in a distribution environment. You need not worry about master production scheduling or MRP. Here it is a different environment. Maybe here you will handle item which comes in a packaged condition. Okay, if you go to a manufacturing environment warehouse, you may get a raw material component. Maybe many of these are unpacked and not barcoded. But the life is very easy when you go to these kind of a e-commerce platform where everything is packed, barcoded, or RFID is put. So the process is more or less streamlined. And here, when you say about business case development, you have to sell the project to the customer. So you have to talk in terms of profitability. Now the customer is having $10 million as the net profit, and you have to sell this project at a cost of say $1 million, and you have to tell him how much will be the IAR, or internal rate of return, or payback period, so that you should know all this commercial aspect. That's where we talk about business case development. Warehouse design recommend various automation options, technologies, WMS, WCS, a warehouse management system or warehouse control system to optimize warehouse operation. So basically, you might have handled this type of technology, going from a raw warehouse, which is in a traditional warehouse, then it becomes different. Of course, there's a the next sentence is a repetition. Design the warehouse layout, MHE, labor, build data model to calculate warehouse size and cost. We do various program on warehouse and inventory management. If you are serious, you can enroll for any of the program where you will understand each of the process. What are the difficulties involved, and what are the benchmarking. And I am available live on LinkedIn and YouTube. If you are watching live, you can always comment, or you can chat in the YouTube so that you can get my response. So here you should know what are the automation tools and technologies available in the sector. Specifically, WMS is a warehouse management system, but provided by many other vendor. Possibly here, you should have that knowledge. You are not going to outsource that, but here these kind of software company may be trying to build such features in their software. Okay, capacity calculation is not a easy task. So you should understand how the capacity is managed, especially if you have industrial engineering background. It may be easy, or apex CPAM. We do capacity planning at various levels, starting from resource planning, rough cut capacity planning, or capacity requirement planning. All that will help. And of course, costing is also important. Work closely with client to gather, manipulate, analyze warehouse process data to model warehouse capacity. So here you should also be a salesman. And when they say analyze the process data, means you should have analytical knowledge. Otherwise, for example, many e-commerce organization, they do tens of thousands of transaction a day, which means you need to have proper analytical tools, knowledge. Okay, that's what is expected. Then process excellence, run process workshop with the client supply chain team to understand current state, process element, bottleneck, root cause issues. So this is where experience in manufacturing may help to do this kind of improvements. Always I have found the people who have worked in a manufacturing environment, especially when they have lean or just in time mechanisms, or six sigma, or theory of constraint methodologies, uh, doing this kind of workshop at the client becomes easy. Access the maturity of client supply chain process using SCOR. SCOR is nothing but APIX supply chain operations and reference model. They provide various metrics at different levels. So possibly indirectly they are saying you should have knowledge about or certification on APIX. Okay, so you will benefit if you have important tools like Kaizen or Six Sigma or theory of constraint. Of course, now the latest analytical tool becomes much important. Score APIX. If you are APIX certified, maybe you are aware that there is a score principles are possible. Create detailed order to cash process working closely with supply chain operation team and service providers of clients. So you should know what are the process, and maybe here we are talking about a value stream mapping. That's one of the lean tool where we capture the current state. In the current state we are going to capture what are the process involved, how many people are used, how much time it is going to take, what are value added activity, what are non value added activity. Because these e-commerce platform now they are fighting for lead time. They are currently delivering in 2 days or 3 days, but possibly in the future they may have to go for same day delivery. So there, this kind of process analysis may be helpful. Created detailed procure to pay process working closely with the supply chain procurement team of clients. You can understand it's not your procurement team but clients procurement team and then their vendors. So such kind of a penetration is expected. So supplier, and you should also have some knowledge when you are dealing with vendor and vendor's vendor. You should know about procurement contract or vendor development process. As a conclusion, I will say that it's a good job description. For applying for this position, you should have a combined experience of warehouse and operation, design, costing, consulting experience. This will highly help. And I feel unlike many other posting, even one from the same company, there was some ambiguity, but this posting, except the title, everything seems to be clear. Maybe they are expecting the candidate from competitor to apply, because and this is something the many of the software development companies are looking for. They simply want to poach from their competitor, and they are not giving preference if you are working only in the warehouse or manufacturing environment. Uh, Maybe if you are working in e-commerce company, that candidate is okay, but main preference will be software design and development. Okay, so any questions you can ask. There is a query from Mr. Jonathan, who is asking what are the good process analytical book currently studying Lean Sigma Green Belt. He is also a CSCP, and that's nice to see you, Mr. Jonathan. Uh, See, improvement tools earlier format was the lean tools or Six Sigma and the theory of constraint. Maybe one is surviving even today, and other two is more or less dead. For example, lean and JIT is even relevant today. If you see whatever we are talking is related to lean and JIT. So if you have the knowledge about lean and JIT, it is fine. Coming to the other tool, theory of constraint, somehow, though it is a highly valid tool, somehow industries are started discarding, and maybe this kind of software companies, they may not be aware about theory of constraint, because that mostly we used to apply in a manufacturing environment. But Six Sigma is ad is death. That's where analytics comes into picture. Okay, analytics has taken over Six Sigma, because Six Sigma doesn't use any analytical tools. Maybe they are talking about some quality tools like root cause analysis, all that. But currently, if you have a huge database, handling the data is not possible in Six Sigma. That's where you have to use, depending on other tools. Maybe for Jonathan, you can get in touch with our executive. There is a WhatsApp number given there. You can say I message. We are doing a supply chain analytics program, yeah, online live program. You can get the response, and the WhatsApp number is available there. Also, anyone of you interested, you can also visit our site. We are experts in providing training in supply chain analytics, and all the APIX certification program, both the training and the mock test. And all this program are live online, may be conducted during the weekend. We have candidates across the world taking part in this program. So, any other queries from any other participant? Those who are watching live, I could see a lot of people are watching live today. So any doubts or clarification? Now not only applying a job or even getting an interview call is difficult nowadays. Even surviving in the current job becomes very difficult unless you keep upskilling and knowing the new tools. The world is changing fast. Okay, we have lived in an era where Amazon used to take 4 or 5 days for a delivery, and now things have changed. People are looking for same day delivery. So the process has to be designed in such a way that you can make things happen. Okay, so any other question from any other participants? Thanks for attending. Have a nice evening, and